Hare Krishna, everybody. Dandavat Pranam. Thank you for joining on this Sunday morning, this Bhagavatam class. Let's start with Kirtan. So, on this auspicious occasion of Jagannath Rath Yatra coming, we'll do a Jagannath Kirtan. Okay. Jaya Jaya Jagannath Shachiranandan Tribhuvana Korijal Charana Vandan Jaya Jaya Jagannath Shachiranandan Tribhuvana Korijal Charana Vandan नीलाचले शङ्खचक्रा गदा पद्मधार नीलाचले शङ्खचक्रा गदा पद्मधार नदिया नगरे दण्डकमण्डलुकार नदिया नगरे दण्डकमण्डलुकार केहो बोले पुरा बेति रावण बधिला गोलोकेर वैभव लीला प्रकाश करिला केहो बोले पुरा बेति रावण बधिला गोलोकेर वैभव लीला प्रकाश करिला जय जय जगन्नाथ सच्चिदानंदन त्रिभुवन कोरिजाट चरण वंदन श्री राधार भावे बेगोरावतार हरे कृष्ण नाम गौरा कोरिला प्रचार श्री राधार भावे बेगोरावतार हरे कृष्ण नाम गौरा कोरिला प्रचार वासुदेव घोष बोले कोरी जोड़ा हाथ जय गौर से कृष्ण से जगन्नाथ वासुदेव घोष बोले कोरी जोड़ा हाथ जय गौर से कृष्ण से जगन्नाथ जय जय जगन्नाथ सच्चिदानंदन त्रिभुवन कोरी जाय चरण वंदन जय जय जगन्नाथ सच्चिदानंदन त्रिभुवन कोरिजाट चरण वंदन हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे जयो राधा मदन मोहन राधे जय गौरनिताय जय गौरनिताय जय जय प्रभुपाद जय जय प्रभुपाद जय जय गुरुदेव जय जय गुरुदेव निताय गौरा हरि बोल निताय गौरा हरि बोल हरिनाम संकीर्तन की जय श्रीला प्रभुपाद की जय अनंत कोटि भक्त वृंद की जय निताय गौर प्रेमानंदे हरि हरि बोल Thank you everybody for joining. Subbarao Prabhuji, Hare Krishna, Dandat Pranam. प्रीति माताजी हरे कृष्णा दंडवत प्रणाम। मुरलीधर प्रभु हरे कृष्णा दंडवत प्रणाम। काम्या माताजी
दंडवत प्रणाम।
हरे कृष्णा दंडवत प्रणाम। माधवी माताजी हरे कृष्णा दंडवत प्रणाम।
हरे कृष्णा दंडवत प्रणाम।
माताजी दंडवत प्रणाम।
So, though the attendance is less, we will go ahead so that we can complete on time. We'll go ahead with our this one. So, we'll start with the prayers. ॐ अज्ञानतिमिरन्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनाशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूपा कदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकम्। वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरो श्रीयुतापदकमलं श्रीगुरुन् वैष्णवांश्च श्रीरूपं साग्रजातां सहगना रघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनासहितं कृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधा कृष्णपादान् सहगना ललिता श्रीविशाखान्वितांश्च हे कृष्णा करुणा सिन्धो दीनबन्धो जगत्पते गोपेश गोपिका कान्त राधाकान्ता नमोऽस्तु ते। तप्त काञ्चन गौराङ्गी राधे वृन्दावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये। वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्यैव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्त वृंदा। हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। ॐ नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ॐ नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ॐ नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। नारायणं नमस्कृत्य नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयमुदीरयेत्। नष्टप्रायेष भद्रेषु नित्यं भागवत सेवया भगवती उत्तमश्लोके भक्तिर्भवति नैष्टिकी। कृष्णाय वासुदेवाय देवकीनन्दनाय च नन्दगोपकुमाराय गोविन्दाय नमो नमः। नमः पङ्कजनाभाय नमः पङ्कजमालिने नमः पङ्कजनेत्राय नमस्ते पङ्कजाङ्ग्रये। नमो महावदन्याय कृष्णप्रेमाप्रदायते कृष्णाय कृष्णचैतन्य नाम्ने गौरतुषे नमः। नमो ब्राह्मण्यदेवाय गोब्राह्मणाहिताय च जगद्धिताय कृष्णाय गोविन्दाय नमो नमः। नमो विष्णुपादाय कृष्णपृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्त स्वामिनिति नामिने। नमस्ते सरस्वती देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्यदेशतारिणे। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्त वृंदा। हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Mukam karoti vachalam, pangum langhayate kirim, yatkrupatamaham vande, Shri Gurum Dinatarinam. Paramanandamaधवं श्रीचैतन्यमीश्वरम् ॐ अपवित्रः पवित्रो वा सर्वावस्थान् गतोऽपि वा यत्स्मरेत् पुण्डरीकाक्षं सबाह्याभ्यन्तरं शुचिः श्रीविष्णु 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 Hare Krishna. So we'll start with the topic which is assigned to me. I think I have completed everything. Yes, the topic which is assigned to me is chapter 6, the demigods and demons declare a truce. So in this, I'm going to cover the verses which is 18 to 39. So let's look at a short summary of this particular chapter. What has happened so far? So right now it is proceeding towards the Samudra Manthan Leela. And this chapter is dedicated to how both the parties come together, the demons and the devatas. So initially what happens in this chapter is that last chapter we have seen that prayers were offered by Brahma, Lord Brahma, seeking protection from the Lord, because all the devatas have lost their place. They have been shooed out of their abode or their homes, and they have lost everything that they had. Why this has happened, we will see it later. And but basically Lord appears in this chapter. What happens is that the Lord appears in response to demigods' prayers, and the demigods, after offering sincere prayers in distress, are blessed with a vision of Lord Kshirodakshay Vishnu. So we have seen that whenever the demigods are in trouble, they go to their superior authority, which is Lord Brahma. And Lord Brahma takes everybody and approaches the Shweta Dvipa. At the shore of Shweta Dvipa, he usually offers the prayers to the Supreme Lord, and every time then Supreme Lord helps out the devatas, considering their obedience to the Lord. So whenever they are in trouble, they actually approach the Lord. And so here Kshirodakshay Vishnu appears, and his effulgent form is so radiant that at first nobody can see him clearly. But Brahma and Shiva, gradually they perceive his form, and they start glorifying the Supreme Lord. So what do we understand from that is that when sincere prayers are offered with humility, the Lord appears and reveals himself gradually. So initially itself, they'll not be able to get the vision, but with the sincerity of the prayers, he reveals himself. We cannot see by our own material vision, by our own endeavor, nothing is possible. Then Brahma starts describing the Supreme Lord, the Lord, that he is eternal, he is beyond birth and death, and about his formlessness to the material eye, that he is full of transcendental form and qualities, that he's the sustainer of all universe, he's the source of all universe, and he's unaffected by time, space, or material energy. He is knowable only through bhakti yoga, not speculative logic. So this is a kind of a thematic summary of what Lord Brahma is saying in this chapter, which were covered in the initial part of the chapter also. So the takeaway is that the Supreme Lord is not a product of imagination or philosophy. He's transcendental, personal, and knowable only through devotion. A very important factor here is the personal. Lord is a person. He has form, qualities, pastimes, but that can be revealed only to a devotee who has devotion in his heart, who has that love for the Supreme Lord. Not everybody can perceive that form. So that's why many people do not take to the worship of the personality of Godhead, the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Now, the next part of what is covered in this particular chapter is about how Lord gives instructions to the devatas to work with demons in tandem, and the purpose is for achieving a higher goal. Now, Lord Vishnu is then pleased with the prayers. He gives demigods a very strategic plan. He tells them that they should propose peace with the demons who are led by Bali Maharaj, and they can jointly churn the ocean of milk to obtain nectar, Amrita. And he asks them to use Mandara mountain as the churning rod, and to use Vasuki the serpent as the churning rope. But he warns them that initially poison will appear, and Lord Shiva will handle it, and that many wonders will emerge, but do not be distracted or become angry. He gives them the instruction already that wait until the nectar, wait until the last, until the end. So here what we can learn is that even when working with adversaries, when we have divine guidance in our life, and we focus on the ultimate goal, we will always be successful. So here in our case, the divine guidance comes through spiritual master, through the Acharya's instructions, through Prabhupada's purports. These are our divine guidance, and if we follow them, success is surely to follow us. So the Lord knows all the dangers which are ahead. So he warns them in advance and gives them protection also in advance. He tells them that I am there, you do not fear. So the devatas, the difference between demoniac and the and the devotees is basically that um, the devotees completely believe in the plan of the Lord. So if he said he will protect, means he will protect. That's it. So there is no question asked in that. By seeing the adversaries in the beginning, they don't start doubting Lord's intention. So that is the main difference. So that's what we see here. And then the Lord lifts the mountain and revives the demigods. Demigods and demons. Then, even though he gives the Mandara mountain, but it's so difficult for the demons and the demigods to carry it together. Because why? Because the Mandara mountain is made of gold. It's pure gold, and usually we see that gold is usually heavier than a rock. So it's so heavy that they are almost many of the people actually they collapse or they die of exhaustion. But Lord Vishnu, he arrives on Garuda, he revives them, and he lifts the mountain with his hand. He rides on the mountain atop Garuda and then places it by the sea. He then instructs Garuda to leave so that Vasuki the serpent can come. And Garuda and serpents are usually natural enemies. So Vasuki is scared of Garuda. So he tells Garuda that you have finished your service. Now you can quietly leave. You don't need to stay here and watch the show. Please go and we will do our job. And Garuda quietly leaves. Again shows the submissiveness and obedience to instructions. That's what we see. So the lesson that we can learn from this particular theme is that when the task looks almost impossible, Krishna will always personally step in. And we will see in the various episodes that we are going to cover in this particular chapter, there is so many episodes that actually without Lord's that nudge, that particular activity cannot happen. And the Lord is very intimately involved in every step of devotees' journey. He does not leave them alone. He lets them try, he lets them put the effort. But if somewhere it's falling short of those 2 inches, like we saw in the Damodar Leela, those 2 inches is covered by the Lord. So that's what we see in this chapter is actually pure demonstration of Lord's Bhakta Vatsalyata and how, and there are many more principles from Bhagavad Gita also that he covers in this particular chapter. Most important is he says in Bhagavad Gita that Maya Dhyakshena Prakriti Suyate Sa Characharam. And also we have heard so many times, not a blade of grass moves without Lord's permission. What does it mean? It's a fact. Not a blade of grass moves without Lord's permission. This chapter itself is the demonstration of this principle, because we see that he comes in every form, in everything he is there. In the entire episode, at every step he is there. First, he is giving the instructions. Then he is lifting the mandara. Then when demons and devatas collapse or die, he revives them. Then when they're not able to carry the Mandara mountain, he calls Garuda and asks Garuda to lift it and put it. And what so many, the whole of the entire populace is not able to carry this mountain, Garuda can carry it. And who empowered Garuda to carry this Mandara mountain? Obviously, the Supreme Lord. So that's what we have seen. We see in this particular chapter that Garuda comes, he lifts the mountain, he puts it, then they start churning. He empowers Vasuki to be the churning rope. Can we even imagine that a particular snake or serpent, however large it can be, is being actually used for this tug of war and is actually able to do the service? So anything that is involved in a law, in the plan of Lord, we should understand that that element or that whether it is animate, inanimate, everything, whether it is paraphernalia or whether it is people, whether it is animals, birds, any living entity or non-living entity, if it is being used in Lord's plan, which means that it is being empowered by the Lord himself. So without that, that is not possible. So so this chapter basically gives us certain core themes and teachings, which is first and foremost, prayer brings divine guidance. So the chapter starts when the prayers end. So the Lord is actually hearing and answering these sincere prayers. And the next theme is that God is transcendental yet accessible. So because everybody is trying to access him from the material universe. So we may think that Lord is outside this material universe, but actually Lord is all pervading. He establishes himself as Karnodakshay Vishnu, Garbhodakshay Vishnu, and as Kshirodakshay Vishnu within this material universe also. So he is beyond material perception, but he reveals himself if approached with bhakti. Then another important lesson that this chapter gives us is work with detachment, collaborate even with your opponents, and but remain fixed on Krishna. Then Lord's protection is constant. Even danger or poison becomes harmless if it is his arrangement. Then important thing about lifting Mandara is that Krishna lifts the weight. What seems unbearable is made easy if we surrender to him. So these are the lessons from this particular chapter, the transcendental lessons. The life lessons that we can take is that in times of crisis, if we offer a prayer to the Lord helplessly, help will surely come. Then Lord may test us with poison and distractions, but ultimately nectar will be offered to us. So therefore, patience is the key. Cooperation is the higher cause. Cooperation for a higher cause can yield spiritual benefits, even when it includes even when it includes partners who you have never imagined, like that you would partner with them. So don't be distracted for temporary gains, but keep focus on the devotion and purpose, and the ultimate gain will prevail. Then Lord carries our burdens when we carry out his instructions faithfully. So these are the important life lessons that we can learn from this particular chapter. The methodology that I will take to cover this chapter is that actually this is just a storyline. So what we will do is that I will read the shloka. Anybody can volunteer for translation. There are small purports also. Then I can read the purports. And then we will cover all the shlokas 18 to 39. And then I would like to share some of the learnings we got. Actually, this topic was beautifully covered by Gaurang Darshan Prabhu last year in the month of September, 28th September to be precise. Fortunately, I had the notes because I had very short time to prepare for this chapter. So I was like wondering what to do. And I remembered that this chapter was actually covered, and this whole narration was actually covered by Gaurang Darshan Prabhu very, very beautifully. And I don't think that I can even do 1 inch or not even 1 millimeter of justice to what he spoke and how nectarian the session was. But because I made notes, and so I can share with you all what exactly he shared, just to revise our memories for those who attended that session, and or those who could not attend the session. This will be like a wonderful revision of whatever he spoke. So since I don't have much to
Good
contribute,
morning.
since I don't have much to contribute, so what I will do is that I will read out from the notes that actually I covered during Gaurang Darshan Prabhu's session, because that was like so beautiful, and but very essential also, because when he speaks of a pastime, he also tells us what we can learn from that pastime, and what we should implement in our own devotional lives from that particular pastime. So we will do that. And I am hopeful that I'll be able to cover this chapter and that particular notes well within time, because because there is very little to cover, and it's a storyline, so there is not much philosophy to be actually explained. It's very simple to understand, self-explanatory. So we'll start with the chapter. I'm not sure why many people couldn't join, but that's okay. I'm very grateful that you all have joined by taking your time for Srimad Bhagavatam, because
Were in Bhakti Center till 10 p.m. last night, Mataji.
Srimad Bhagavatam, Amala Puranam. So we will touch Srimad Bhagavatam, and it's all auspicious. So let's do that. I hope everybody is able to see my screen.
Yes, Mataji.
Okay, so we'll start. Text 18. Shri Bhagavan Hanta Brahman Aho Shambho He Deva Mama Bhashitam Shrunuta Vahita Sarve Shreyo Vasyad Yatha Sura. Anybody for translation?
Hare Krishna Mataji. Shall I read?
Yes, Mataji.
Translation. The Supreme Personality of Godhead said, O Lord Brahma, Lord Shiva and other demigods, please hear me with great attention. For what I say will bring good fortune for all of you. Thank you, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Mataji. So yes. So it starts itself, this 18th verse starts with Shri Bhagavanu Vacha. Very fortunate to start from this verse. And so he is telling, please hear me with great attention, for what I say will bring you good fortune. So the very important thing that we need to remember is the words of the Supreme Lord is non-different from Supreme Lord himself. So therefore, the Bhagavatam and Bhagavad Gita. Bhagavad Gita is against words of Lord. If we follow Bhagavad Gita, the instructions, the kind of penal code for devotees that I always talk about, if we follow that, it is definitely possible that good fortune will actually be with us. And good fortune, which means that I'm not talking about material fortune. I'm talking about the progress that we can make in devotional service. It will be incomparable to any other thing. So therefore, definitely we should actually touch base with the verses of Bhagavad Gita and Bhagavatam. Bhagavatam is literary incarnation of Supreme Lord. So verses are like actually have that power to establish Krishna within our heart. This I heard from Bhakti Vigyan Goswami Maharaj in his class, that we must always read the verses of Bhagavatam, because every word that is there is empowered by the Supreme Lord, and verses have the power to establish Krishna within our heart, while the translation and purport gives us knowledge about about the pastime, about Krishna, about his glories, about his activities. It gives us knowledge, but what can establish Krishna within our heart is the recitation of the shloka, because that is the one which is actually empowered to do so. So here, next we will do the next shloka. यात दानवदैतेयैस्तावत् सन्धिर्विधीयताम् कालेनानुगृहीतैस्तैर्यावद् वो भव आत्मनः. Anybody for translation?
Hare Krishna Mataji, may I read?
Yes, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Translation by Sri Prabhupada ki jai. As long as you are not flourishing, you should make a truce with the demons and asuras who are now being favored by time. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Prabhuji. So the purport, translation and purport by Srila Prabhupada ki jai. One word in this verse has two readings, Kalena and Kavyena. Kalena means favored by time, and Kavyena means favored by Shukracharya. Shukracharya being the spiritual master of the Daityas. The demons and Daityas were favored in both ways, and therefore the demigods were advised by the Supreme Lord to execute a truce for the time being until time favored them. So we'll just go with the reading first, explanation I'll do it at the end. Text 20. Arayopi sandheya sati karyartha gaurave ahimushikavaddeva hyarthasya padavim gatai. Anybody for translation?
Krishna Mataji, can I?
Yes, Prabhuji.
Can I also try the shloka?
Please try, Prabhuji. Please do.
Rayopihi sandheya sati karyartha gaurave yapadavim gatai. Translation purpose Srila Prabhupada ki jai. O demigods, fulfilling one's own interest is so important that one may even have to make a truce with one's enemies. For the sake of one's self-interest, one has to act according to the logic of the snake and the mouse.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Purport. A snake and a mouse were once caught in a basket. Now, since the mouse is food for the snake, this was a good opportunity for the snake. However, since both of them were caught in the basket, even if the snake ate the mouse, the snake would not be able to get out. Therefore, the snake thought it wise to make a truce with the mouse and asked the mouse to make a hole in the basket so that both of them could get out. The snake's intention was that after the mouse made the hole, the snake would eat the mouse and escape from the basket through the hole. This is called the logic of the snake and the mouse. Text 21. Amritotpadane yatna kriyatam avilambitam yasya pitasya vai jantur mrityugrasto maro bhavet. Anybody for translation?
Hare Krishna.
Yes, Mataji.
Immediate endeavor to produce nectar, which a person who is about to die may drink to become immortal.
Thank you, Mataji. So, immediately endeavor to produce nectar, which a person who is about to die may drink. So, what is the goal ultimately? To obtain this nectar. That's the goal. So, focus on the goal. That's what Lord is telling them. Shiptva kshiro dadhau sarva virutrina lataushadhi manthanam mandaram kritva netram kritva tu vasukim sahayena maya deva nirmanthadvam atandrita klesha bhajo bhavishyanti daityayuyam falagraha. Translation and purport by Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Anybody for translation?
May I read?
Yes, Pallavi Mataji.
Yeah, Hare Krishna. Translation: O demigods, cast into the ocean of milk all kinds of vegetables, grass, creepers, and drugs. Then, with my help, making Mandara mountain the churning rod and Vasuki the rope for churning, churn the ocean of milk with undiverted attention. Thus, the demons will be engaged in labor, but you, the demigods, will gain the actual result, the nectar produced from the ocean. Thank you, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Mataji. Hare Krishna. Perfect. It appears that when different kinds of drugs, creepers, grass, and vegetables are put into this milk, and the milk is churned, as milk is churned for butter, the active principles of the vegetables and drugs mix with the milk, and the result is nectar. Text 24. Yuyam tad anumodadhvam yad ichantyasura na samrambhena siddhyanti sarvartha sarvartha santvaya yatha. Translation. Anybody for translation?
Hare Krishna Mataji.
Yes, Prabhuji.
Translation. My dear demigods, with patience and peace everything can be done. But if one is agitated by anger, the goal is not achieved. Therefore, whatever the demons ask, agree to their proposal. Hare Krishna.
So these are all the instructions that Supreme Lord is actually giving to the Devatas. Text 25. Na bhetavyam kalakutad विषाज्जलधि संभवात् लोभः कार्यो नवो जातु रोषः कामस्तु वस्तुषु. Anybody for translation?
Hare Krishna Mataji.
Yes, Prabhuji.
Translation by Srila Prabhupada ki jai. A poison known as Kalakuta will be generated from the ocean of milk, but you should not fear it. When various products are churned from the ocean, you should not be greedy for them or anxious to obtain them, nor should be angry. Hare Krishna. Purport. Shall I continue, Purport Mataji?
Yes, Prabhuji. Short one. You can.
Yeah, purport. It appears that by the churning process, many things will be generated from the ocean of milk, including poison, valuable gems, nectar, and many beautiful men. The demigods were advised, however, not to be greedy for the gems or beautiful men, but to wait patiently for the nectar. And nectar, the real purpose was to get the nectar. Hare Krishna.
Yeah. So here we see that it's not like, okay, they are waiting for devotional service or for bhakti or prema or anything. They are ultimately waiting for some benefit. But the key point here is that they are ready to follow Supreme Lord's instructions. So Lord is actually instructing them that don't be distracted by any of the other things which come on the way. Be focused on your ultimate goal, which is nectar. So something is better than nothing here, that they are following instructions and they are waiting for the ultimate goal, and they're not getting distracted with the in between something which is luring them, or something which is attracting their attention, or something which is like actually appalling them. So they are not getting distracted with all those. Text 26. Shri Shuka Uvacha Iti Devan Samadishya Bhagavan Purushottama Tesham Antardadhe Rajan Swachanda Gatirishwaraha. Anybody for translation?
I'll read Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Yes.
Translation and purport by Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Translation. Sukdev Goswami continued, O King Parikshit, after advising the demigods in this way, the independent Supreme Personality of Godhead, the best of all the living entities, disappeared from their presence. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Mataji. Text 27. Atha tasmai bhagavate namaskritya pitamaha bhavascha jagmatu swam swam dhamopeyurpalim sura. So now the instructions are over. So then Lord Brahma, translation, anybody wants to read?
Hare Krishna Mataji, can I read?
Yes, Mataji.
Translation by His Divine Grace as Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Then Lord Brahma and Lord Shiva, after offering their respectful obeisances to the Lord, returned to their abodes. All the demigods then approached Maharaja Bali. Hare Krishna, thank you.
Thank you, Mataji. So now they've taken the instructions and they went to Bali Maharaj, who is leading the demons. So Now what happens next? The story. Text 28. Drishtvarin apyasamyattan jatakshobhan swanayakan न्यषेधदैत्यराट् श्लोक्य sandhi-vigraha-kalavit. Anybody for translation? You can
Hare
repeat
Krishna.
yourself also, yeah.
Hare Krishna.
Yes, Prabhuji.
Translation. Maharaja Bali, a most celebrated king of the demons, knew very well when to make peace and when to fight. Thus, although his commanders and captains were agitated and were about to kill the demigods, Maharaja Bali, seeing that the demigods were coming to him without a militant attitude, forbade his commanders to kill them. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Perfect. Vedic etiquette enjoins grihe shatrum api praptam vishwastam akuto bhayam. When enemies come to their opponent's place, they should be received in such a way that they will forget that there is animosity between the two parties. Bali Maharaj was well conversant with the arts of peacemaking and fighting. Thus, he received the demigods very well. Although his commanders and captains were agitated, this kind of treatment was prevalent even during the fight between the Pandavas and the Kurus. During the day, the Pandavas and Kurus would fight with the utmost strength. And when the day was over, they would go to each other's camps as friends and be received as such. During such friendly meetings, one enemy would offer anything the other enemy wanted. That was the system. So, whenever there is a purport, we should understand that there is something additional that Prabhupada is trying to point out. What could actually give us an element, even an element of doubt? Prabhupada usually tries to cover that particular topic. So here, one may wonder when reading this that, okay, the like they are demoniac in nature. So how come when the Devatas came, they did not actually kill? How is it possible? So we should also remember that demoniac, there are many people who are like very very learned, very knowledgeable, masters of Vedic injunctions. So they have followed the Vedas. It's just that they are disobedient to the Lord and they look for their own benefit. They don't really care about bhakti or prema or love of Godhead. So the difference between them and so that doesn't mean that demons are actually like fools and they don't have any knowledge. So here we see that Maharaja Bali, who is most celebrated king of demons. Another thing we need to remember is that it was actually a wonderful situation that Maharaja Bali was there, because he is actually grandson of Prahlad Maharaj. So therefore, he was there with the right knowledge. And although all his commanders and captains were wanting to kill the demigods, he said that the demigods were not coming with any weapons or any military attitude to fight or anything. In that case, we should not be fighting. So he followed some rules and regulations. So it's not like they don't have any knowledge. That's why here Prabhupada is trying to explain that Vedic etiquette enjoins. So which means that Bali Maharaj is actually following the Vedic etiquette. So it definitely, it means that they have the knowledge, but there is some difference. Text 29. Te vairochanim asinam guptam chasura yuthapai shriya paramaya justam jitashish upagaman. Anybody for translation?
Hare Krishna Mataji, may I read?
Yes, Prabhuji.
Vishwanatham, thank you. The demigods approached Bali Maharaj, the son of Virochan, and sat down near him. Bali Maharaj was protected by the commanders of the demons and was most opulent, having conquered the entire universe. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Text 30. Mahindra Shlakshan Mahendra Shlakshnaya Vacha Santvayitva Mahamatihi Abhyabhashata Tat Sarvam Shikshitam Purushottamat.
Hare
Translation.
Krishna. Hare
Yes,
Krishna.
Prabhuji.
Mahendra Slakshtaya Vacha Santvayitva Mahamati Tat Sarvam.
Prabhuji,
Translation in purport by Srila Prabhupada.
whenever you're
Mataji?
singing the shloka, no, Prabhuji, the third line goes. I don't know why.
Oh, whenever I'm reciting, the third line is not visible,
Yeah,
audible at
not
all.
audible. Yeah.
There must be something wrong with this. Third line is what? Abhyabhashat tat sarvam, basically, right? After Maharaj, with mild words, Lord Indra, the king of the demigods, who was most intelligent, very politely submitted all the proposals he had learned from the Supreme Personality of the Godhead, Lord Mahavishnu.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Who was most intelligent, very politely submitted all the proposals he had learned from the Supreme. So whatever Lord had asked, like, okay, you make a truce, team up, we will together work for nectar, all that was discussed. Text 31. Tatvarochata daityasya tatranye ye suradhipa shambaro शम्बरोरिष्टने मिश्च ये च वासिनः. Translation. Anybody for translation?
Hare Krishna.
Yes, Prabhuji.
The proposals submitted by King Indra were immediately accepted by Bali Maharaj and his assistants, headed by Sambra and Aristanemi, and by all the other residents of Tripura. Hare Krishna.
Perfect.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Can I read one?
Yes, Prabhuji, please go ahead.
It appears from this verse that politics, diplomacy, the propensity to cheat, and everything that we find in this world in individual and social negotiations between two parties are also present in upper planetary systems. The demigods went to Bali Maharaj with a proposal to manufacture nectar, and the Daityas, the demons, immediately accepted it, thinking that since the demigods were already weak, when the nectar was produced, the demons would take it from them and use it for their own purposes. The demigods, of course, had similar intentions. The only difference is that the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Lord Vishnu, was on the side of the demigods because the demigods were his devotees, whereas the demons did not care about Lord Vishnu. All over the universe, there are two parties, the Vishnu party or God conscious party and the godless party. The godless party is never happy or victorious, but the God conscious party is always happy and victorious. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Text 32. Tato devasura kritva samvidam krita sauhrida udyamam paramam chakrur amritarthe parantapa. Anybody for translation?
Hey, Mataji.
Yes, Prabhuji.
Tato devasura krutva samvidam krita sauhrudaha Udyamam paramam chakru amruta ate parantapa. Now it's clear, Mataji?
Yes, Prabhuji.
Thank you. Translation purport by Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Translation. O Maharaj Parikshit, chastised as the enemies, the demigods and the demons thereafter made an armistice between them. Then with great enterprise, they arranged to produce nectar as proposed by Lord Indra. Arranged.
Thank you, Prabhuji.
Armistice. What does it mean, Mataji? Armistice. I never heard that word.
Made an armistice between them. The demigods, I think some kind of agreement probably. Made an armistice. Let me see. Since we have time, I can check.
What was the word meaning there?
Armistice.
From which part of the shloka it came?
I think armistice also means truce. Let me just. An agreement made by opposing sides in a war to stop fighting for a certain time, a truce.
Okay, right.
So armistice is actually a truce. But where did it come from? Here, Tato Devasura Kritva Samvidam Krita Sauhrida.
The Sauhrida, an armistice between them. That's the word we will use. Okay. The Tatkalika Sandhi. The Telugu word is
Sandhi, correct. Cease fire.
Yeah.
Purport. The word Samvidam is significant in this verse. The demigods and demons both agreed to stop fighting, at least for the time being, and endeavored to produce nectar. Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur notes in this connection. संविद्युद्धे प्रतिज्ञायाम् आचारेणां नितोषणे सम्भाषणे क्रियाकारे संकेतज्ञानयोरपि. The word samvid is variously used to mean in fighting, in promising, for satisfying, in addressing, by practical action, indication, and knowledge. So this could be like so many meanings. Samvid means that. Text 33. ततस्ते मन्दरगिरिम् ओजसोत्पात्य दुर्मदा नदन्ता उदधिन्निन्यो शक्ता परिघभा बाहवा. Anybody for translation?
I'll do it, Mataji.
Yes, Manji.
Translation. Thereafter, with great strength, the demons and demigods, who were all very powerful and who had long, stout arms, uprooted Mandara mountain. Crying very loudly, they brought it toward the ocean of milk. Thank you, Mataji.
Thank you, Mataji. Text 34. दूरभारोद्वह श्रान्ता शक्रवैरोचनादया अपारयन्तस्तं वोढुं विवशा विजहु पथि. Translation.
Hare Krishna Mataji, may I?
Yes, Prabhuji.
Translation by Srila Prabhupada, Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Because of conveying the great mountain for a long distance, King Indra, Maharaj Bali, and the other demigods and the demons became fatigued. Being unable to carry the mountain, they left it on the way. Hare Krishna.
Text 35. निपतन् स गिरिस्तत्र बहून् अमरदानवान् चूर्णयाम् आस महता भारेण कनकाचलः. Translation.
I'll read Mataji.
Yes, Machi.
The mountain known as Mandara, which was extremely heavy, being made of gold, fell and smashed by many demigods and demons. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Machi. Purport. By constitution, gold is heavier than stone. Since Mandara mountain was made of gold and was therefore heavier than stone, the demigods and demons would not properly carry it to the ocean of milk. Text 36. Tams tatha bhagna manaso bhagna bahuru kandharan Vijnaya bhagavams tatra babhuva garuda dhvaja. Anybody for translation?
Can I read Mataji? Hare Krishna. The demigods and demons were frustrated and disheartened, and their arms, thighs, and shoulders were broken. Therefore, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, who knows everything, appeared there on the back of his carrier, Garuda. Hare Krishna, thank you.
Thank you, Mataji. Text 37. Giripata vinishpishtan vilokyamara danavan ikshaya jivayam asa nirjaran nirpranan yatha. Translation.
I'll read Mataji.
Hare Krishna Mataji.
Oh.
Yes, Amrita Mataji.
Hare Krishna Mataji. Observing that most of the demons and the demigods had been crushed by the falling of the mountain, the Lord glanced over them and brought them back to life. Thus they became free from grief and they even had no bruises on their bodies. Hare Krishna Mataji, thank
See the wonder. Lord can do anything.
you.
Text 38. Girim charopya garude haste naikena leelaya aruhya prayaya abdhim surasura ganirvritaha. Himanshu Prabhu, you can do this.
Hare Krishna. Translation by Srila Prabhupada, Srila Prabhupada ki jai. The Lord very easily lifted the mountain with one hand and placed it on the back of Garuda. Then he too got on the back of Garuda and went to the ocean of milk, surrounded by the demigods and demons. Shall I continue with?
You
Shall
can
I
do.
continue, Prabhupada?
This is slightly a big one. Yeah, you can do touch.
Here is the proof of omnipotence of Supreme Personality of Godhead, who's above everyone. There are two classes of living entities, the demons and the demigods, and the Supreme Personality of Godhead is above them both. The demons believe in the chance of theory of creation, whereas the demigods believe in creation by hand of Supreme Personality of Godhead. The omnipotence of the Supreme Lord is proved here, for simply with one hand he lifted Mandara mountain, the demigods and the demons, placed them on the back of Garuda, and brought them to the ocean of milk. Now, the demigods, the devotees, would immediately accept this incident, knowing that the Lord can lift anything, however heavy it might be. But although demons were also carried along with the demigods, demons, upon hearing of this incident, would say that this is mythological. But if God is all powerful, why would it be difficult for him to lift a mountain? Since he is floating innumerable planets with many hundreds and thousands of Mandara mountains, why can't he lift one of them with his hand? This is not mythology, but the difference between the believers and the faithless is that the devotees accept the incidents mentioned in the Vedic literatures to be true, whereas the demons simply argue and label all these historical incidents mythology. Demons would prefer to explain that everything happening in the cosmic manifestation takes place by chance. But demigods or devotees never consider anything to be chance. Rather, they know that everything is an arrangement of Supreme Personality of Godhead. That is the difference between the demigods and the demons. Hare Krishna.
Oh, you read it from the book, Prabhuji? I'm sorry.
Oh. Yeah.
Sorry, Prabhuji. Yeah. Text 39. Avaropya girim skandhat suparna patatambaraha yayau jalanta utsrijya harina sa visarjitaha. Anybody for translation?
Can I read, Mataji?
Yes, Prabhuji. This is the last.
Sorry. Avaropya girim skandat suparna patatam vara yayo jalanta utsrajya harina sa visarjitaha. Hare Krishna. Translation purpose by Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Translation. Therefore, Garuda, the chief of birds, unloaded Mandara mountain from his shoulder and brought it near the water. Then he was asked by the Lord to leave the place and he left. We'll continue with the purport or?
You can read, Prabhuji. This is the last purport and we have time, so you can read.
Garuda was asked by the Lord to leave that place because snake Vasuki, who was to be used as a rope for churning, could not go there in the presence of Garuda. Garuda, the carrier of Lord Vishnu, is not a vegetarian. He eats big snakes. Vasuki, being a great snake, would be natural food for Garuda, the chief of the birds. Lord Vishnu therefore asked Garuda to leave so that Vasuki could be brought to churn the ocean with Mandara mountain, which was to be used as the churning rod. These are the wonderful arrangements of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Nothing takes place by accident. Carrying Mandara mountain on the back of a bird and putting it in its right position might be difficult for anyone, whether demigod or demon. But for Supreme Personality Godhead, everything is possible, as shown by his pastime. The Lord has no difficulty lifting the mountain with one hand, and Garuda, his carrier, carried all the demons and demigods together by the grace of Supreme Lord. The Lord, known as Yogeshwara, the master of all mystic power, because of his omnipotence. Because of his omnipotence. If he likes, he can make anything lighter than cotton or heavier than the universe. Those who do not believe in the activities of the Lord cannot explain how things happen. Using words like accident, they take shelter of ideas that are unbelievable. Nothing is accident. Everything is done by the Supreme Personality of Godhead, as Lord Himself confirms in Bhagavad Gita. Bhagavad Gita. Mayadhyakshena prakriti suyite sacharacha.
Charachara.
Sachara. Whatever actions and reactions occur within the cosmic manifestation all take place under the superintendence of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. However, because the demons do not understand the potency of the Lord, when wonderful things are done, the demons think they are accident. Thus end the Bhaktivedanta purports of the 8th canto, 6th chapter of Srimad Bhagavatam, entitled The Demigods and Demons Declare a Truce. Hare Krishna.
Hari
Thank you.
bol, Hari bol. So here we are seeing that the chief unloaded Mandara mountain. Here, a very wonderful word is used by Srila Prabhupada. He says Yogeshwara. Where else have we heard Yogeshwara? Obviously in 1878, yeah. Yatra Yogeshwara Krishno, Yatra Partho Dhanurdharaha, Tatra Shri Vijayo Bhutir, Dhruvani Tirmatir Mama. So Yogeshwara means master of all mystics. So in this whole episode, in every step, Lord has done something or the other. Like he becomes, actually, eventually we'll see that how he becomes the Lord Ajita, who's holding the Mandara mountain from top. As Kurma, he is balancing the Mandara mountain from bottom. Then he is producing all these items which are coming. All these items during the churning of the ocean. And ultimately, when nectar comes, he becomes the Mohini and also gives it to the demigods and avoids the demons. So everything from the start to end, he is the supreme controller. So Parameshwara, right? Supreme controller. And that everything, whatever he said in Bhagavad Gita as a principle, is actually demonstrated in this particular episode through the Lord. So from this chapter, we can learn all that. Okay, whatever he said there, he's actually doing them. So now what I'll do is, for all your benefit, and since we have little time, I will share the wonderful notes that I had written for from Gaurang Darshan Prabhu's class in September 2024. Right. So, yeah. So in the Samudra Manthan Leela, first he gave the reason why the Samudra Manthan Leela happened in the first place. So he said, a spiritually elevated person wanting to gift us something is a great fortune which needs to be valued. So where did it all start? It all started when Durvasa Muni actually gifted a garland to Indra. And what did Indra do? He took the garland and placed it on Airavata. And what did Airavata do? Airavata trampled on the garland and in front of Durvasa Muni and threw it. So all this was happening. So it is a very, very invaluable gift which is received from a great sage, but Indra did that. So there is some insult there. There is some offense which has happened. So this shows that actually he was like, there was so much pride in him, and he was puffed up due to all the possessions that had. But what is the real strength? Gaurang Darshan Prabhu said, actually the real strength is love and devotion to Krishna. These opulences, health, wealth are not our strengths. Durvasa cursed Indra. I curse you to lose all that you have. So Indra made a mistake. Some mistakes are rectifiable, some are irreversible. Not only Indra, but all devatas got affected in this, right? It's not, he made a mistake. But being the leader of the devatas, all of them actually suffered the mistake that Indra did. They suffered the reaction to that mistake. Now, So leadership position of Indra here is very, very crucial. So we have seen many times Indra had insulted Brihaspati, which was a deliberate insult. Then, so that was deliberate. So we may think that are all mistakes the same? All mistakes are not similar, because there Indra had actually deliberately ignored the presence of Brihaspati, and then the lot of things happened, right? What happened? Brihaspati leaves and goes, and then all that, the whole episode of Tvashta, and the whole episode of what is that? Aim Sura, aim demon was that? Vrikrasura, na? Vritrasura. Vritrasura's episode starts that way. That actually Indra actually insults Brihaspati, and that led to the Vritrasura episode, and then the entire thing that he threatening to kill Indra and everything. Without Supreme Lord's help, he wouldn't have survived there also. So, but then one may ask, like Gaurang Darshan Prabhu said, ki here the mistake was deliberate. But what happened in case of Parikshit Maharaj? So Shamika Rishi did not respond to Parikshit as he was absorbed in meditation. So what Shamika Rishi did was not a deliberate insult. It was like unknowing. He was like meditating. His eyes were closed. So he did not deliberately. So there is a difference between that and this. So what? So why are we talking about that? Because Bhagavatam liberally discusses mistakes. If you see Bhagavatam, there are so many mistakes which are discussed time to time. Why? Even including Vyasdev's mistake initially about his focus on the four purusharthas, which actually led to his dissatisfaction, and Narad Muni actually coming and guiding him what to do next, like to glorify the Supreme Lord. And then that came as advent of Srimad Bhagavatam. So that was Vyasdev's mistake. Then and Indra's mistakes also have been discussed so liberally in Bhagavatam. But why is that so? So that we can learn what to do and what not to do from various personality in Srimad Bhagavatam. But our intention should not be about offending them. So we should do whatever is the discussion, it should be without offending them. We should not talk very lightly of Indra, who is been given that position. He is empowered by the Supreme Lord to be the king of heavenly planets. It means that he is some personality. Yes, even with every personality, there will be some. So mistakes and some shortcomings in this material world are inevitable. And within us also, there are so many shortcomings. But that does not mean that we will not follow the instructions of the Supreme Lord. That does not mean that we will not try our maximum to follow the instructions. The effort and intention is very, very important. That's what Gaurang Darshan Prabhu had actually retreated a lot at that time. Definitely, we'll have so many shortcomings. That is inevitable. And he also discussed like how Shiva was running behind Mohini Murti. So that was a joking affair, but with a great message that anything can happen in this material universe. Nothing is inevitable. Everybody can actually be illusioned at some point or other, and we are like kind of like so much conditioned in our current situations. We are talking about demigods who are like so much purified and who are great personalities. They are beyond this earthly realm itself, means that they are so much superior in terms of their devotion to the Supreme Lord and everything. So we are nowhere compared to them. So therefore, it is very important that we don't talk lightly about these personalities. Oh, Indra is always like this. Oh, he always makes mistakes. Doesn't he learn anytime? So we have done this mistake many times. We have asked, in fact, we have asked these great personalities who come to our and preach to us also. We have talked like this, that how come Indra is doing this? What is he, a neighboring person, some neighborhood child who is making mistake, and we are so great that we are going to point out the mistakes of Indra? No. So that's what actually Prabhu had that time actually reiterated, though we should not offend them. Without offending them, the idea is not to discuss the mistakes, but idea is to discuss the learnings as to what to do and what not to do. That is very important. From the personalities, that Indra-like personality could can make this kind of mistake. So who are we? Not even a speck of dust in this particular material universe. We are so insignificant. We can make so many mistakes. So we better be careful. We do not think that, okay, I am so great, I am so purified, I'll not be making any such mistakes. Idea is to learn from the mistakes and learn how to rectify. Very important that we actually um, very important learning most of the preachers have actually given us is that always whenever you are making an aparadh, you actually go and apologize for that aparadh and seek forgiveness very sincerely. So these kind of things, this is what we actually learn from these episodes, that they realized their mistakes. Indra, the demigods, everybody realized their mistakes, and they approached whom? Their superior authority, Brahma. And then Brahma also little chastised them, how can you do this and all that. But ultimately he takes them to the Supreme Lord. So there is a hierarchy which is actually followed. So nobody can approach the Supreme Lord directly, and not like Lord is actually sitting and to count our offenses, and like how he always took side of the demigods, he will always take our side. So it's very important that we actually fall at the feet of our spiritual masters, gurus, sadhu, shastra, Guru Sadhu Shastra. That is only our saving grace. So Indra is an offender, but Lord is trying to reinstate him back in his position after giving some feedback. So now, what are the solutions that Lord offered to Indra and the demigods? He says, make a truce with Asuras, make a sandhi or negotiation. But why? Because he actually insulted Durvasa. So it was very, very essential that they have to be brought down. The pride has to be corrected. So therefore, that humility has to be brought in. I mean, what is the worst that can happen? That people you have been fighting with all along, అంటే హార్డ్ కోర్ ఎనిమీస్ ఏదైతే ఉంటారు కదా, లైక్ జన్మల శత్రుత్వం ఉంటుంది, that enmity is going on for like millenniums. But Lord asked them to actually go and speak to them for a truce. So what worst can happen actually? This is worse than death, sometimes I feel. So, but because we need humility, sometimes due to incompatibility and false ego, we may do things that we don't mean to, but service does not suffer. For service should not suffer. So here the learning that Gaurang Darshan Prabhu spoke about is that even within devotees, there could be some misunderstandings. There could be that not, see, all of us are actually different. Our natures are different. Our personalities are different. Just because we have come into Krishna consciousness suddenly does not transform into us into demigods, or does not transform us overnight. Our character, our personalities and everything, our belief systems, our thought process doesn't change overnight. But very important thing is that our service is the key focus there. And to fulfill that particular service, if you have to take a humble position, and if you have to sometimes compromise on your thought process or your values, and ensure that it does not, the picture does not get ugly. Compromise in such a way that the picture does not get ugly and things go smoothly. And for making that smooth transition, whatever compromise has to take place, we must follow that. Even it may be against our will, it could be against our thought process, whatever it is. Sometimes we'll have to take a step back so that the service does not service does not suffer. What is the original purpose of giving Krishna consciousness? That does not suffer. So this is what Gaurang Darshan Prabhu mentioned at that time, that do not let service suffer for the small differences that you may have with the others, even in devotional life. So here, okay. So for obtaining nectar, if devatas and demons, just 1 second, practice maths. Your fruits kitna? Fruits kitna? Fruits soup, flower soup में पहले करती हो, sweet किसको? Sorry, my apologies. Yeah. So for obtaining nectar, if devatas and demons can come together and work, then why can't we come together and work together for Lord's service? So egos are impeding. Lord's message through Samudra Manthan Leela is to actually work on that, is to tell us that put aside your ego and focus on the service. So instructions of Lord, sometimes demons may have demands. Take humble position and adjust. Some allurements will come on the way to real goal. Uchcheshrava, horse, Kaustuba Muni, Lakshmi Devi, all these were allurements. But if demons want anything, let them take. Bhakta Vatsalyata, he's actually showing to the demigods, he's telling them, Majlo edochna kuda, whatever comes in between, if they want it, just give it to them. Don't argue. Like a loving father, he gives them instructions. So demons, as soon as they saw Devatas, came to attack Devatas. So now Devatas have gone to the demons, headed by Bali Maharaj. So, but when the demons see, they immediately come to, want to attack. Of course, stopped by Bali Maharaj. So here, Gaurang Darshan Prabhu says, example in projects, even before other party puts their points, we object. So, but again, service should not suffer. Bali Maharaj advises, Devatas don't have weapons, so don't attack. Ye yatha mam prapadyante. So they have not come to attack, we will not attack. Let's follow this principle. Then what is the Amrita? Amrita actually means immortality. But we have already learned in Bhagavad Gita, no? That Abrahma Bhuvana Loka Punaravartino Arjuna. So which means that immortality is not present in this material universe. Then which nectar are these people fighting for? We may have a doubt. So Gaurang Darshan Prabhu mentioned for this is that even Devatas have to die. But then what is immortality? Immortality means Amrita gives them strength for one Manvantara, which means that for the whole Manvantara, they exist. And they exist in a youthful condition only. At the end, in one of the chapters in Bhagavatam itself, I have read that they, until like, let's say for us, whatever is 100 years, for them also their 100 years, which has a description in terms of celestial years. This thing is, our 100 years, I think, is their 36,000 years. Right? So in that, till the last day, they are youthful. Only on the last day, they become old and then die. So that is the benefit of the heavenly planets, that at least they are not seeing all the different sufferings of the Jara, Vyadhi and all that. They just die one fine day. So, but until then, they are youthful and healthy. So, but for us, what is that nectar? For them, this was the nectar. For us, what is the nectar? Krishna Kathamrita, Namamrita, Chaitanya Charitamrita. These are all the nectars which make devotees immortal. Isn't it wonderful what Prabhuji said? Yeah. So the demons now like Devata's proposal, because why? They said that nectar will come at the end. Both of us, let's get together. Let's get the nectar and then both of us will share it equally. Here demons are thinking in their mind that, oh, when the nectar comes, we will kill the Devatas and we will have the nectar. Devatas are also thinking the same way. It's not like Devatas are thinking any differently. So now here what Prabhuji said, some people have strength but no intelligence. Brahmanas give intelligent ideas. Kshatriyas are resourceful. Sometimes resourceful person may exploit innocent people giving ideas. Demons were in power at that time because they had already taken the power from the Devatas. So Lord gave idea of collaboration. Every demon thinking on his own, of his own benefit. Sometimes we are part of a group. We may think of our individual success than betterment of community. This is the learning that devotees need to take from this. That even though we are a part of group, sometimes we think about our individual name, fame, success. Right? But what should take precedence the most? Bhakti is supposed to be glorified. It's not our name, our fame. It is the glorification. We are here to glorify Krishna. We are here to glorify Krishna's name, form, qualities, pastimes. It does not matter who is glorifying it. That person doesn't get the glory. What needs to be glorified is actually Krishna's name, form, qualities, pastimes. So our focus should always be on that. Whatever we speak, every word that we utter, it should be either for glorifying Bhakti or it should be for glorifying Krishna. Right? So Bhakti is supposed to make us selfless. So that automatically means that, like, if as we progress in Bhakti, it makes us selfless in such a way that we don't really care about this, our personal name, fame, glories. We focus on Lord's name, fame, glories. So here Devatas were also thinking for their benefit, and they wanted to share the nectar and not give them a single drop. But then Gaurang Darshan Prabhu mentioned a very wonderful point. He said, whatever you do with selfish intent is politics. He gave the definition of politics. So why Vishnu in that case? We know they are doing it for selfish intent because they want the nectar and they don't want to give even a single drop to the demons. Then why Vishnu is supporting them? Why Vishnu is partial to them? So here that topic also comes. How can Lord be partial to some and impartial to others, or against others? It looks apparently that he's against the demons. So how is this when actually in Bhagavad Gita he is saying that I am impartial to everybody. I treat everybody equally. So here what is being said is that why Vishnu giving ideas to Devatas to cheat demons? Because Devatas are primarily Sattva-guna. So overall picture is the higher purpose, which is always having Sattva to rule the world, is more beneficial, even if they have some ultimate motive. They have some motive, but it is still better that Sattva Guna actually rules the world than having demons who are filled with Tamo and Rajoguna. So giving nectar to demons and increasing their strength is not good for the world. So therefore, sometimes like a mother cheats the child to feed medicine, Lord makes a cheating plan. Now, the next one is about Garuda. How Garuda actually did that. So Garuda is more powerful than all the demons plus Devatas put together. But Lord lifted Mandara mountain and put on Garuda's back. So who is the most powerful? Obviously Lord. And then he's empowered Garuda also to carry the Mandara mountain, which all these demons and Devatas together were not able to do. So why Lord then enacted this whole scene instead of directly giving nectar? We can have that doubt, right? That Anni Chotla, in every space, he is actually intervening. He is doing something, okay, little nudge like this, little push like that. He is only doing everything. Then why did he at all do this Samudra Manthan Leela in the first place? Why did he not just directly enact the Leela, bring the nectar and directly give it to demigods? We may wonder that way. Because Lord is enjoyer of pastimes. So he revived the demons and devatas. So when they actually could not lift the Mandara mountain, some of them collapsed, some of them died. But he revives them because why? He wants to enjoy this whole pastime. Like how we also see children play, right? Sometimes. And sometimes we see them struggling doing certain things. Whether it is playing or studying or whatever, we try to give them a little nudge and try to fix their things. Like sometimes you see that these nursery kids, they are doing some play. In between, teachers will keep running. Somebody's kiritam has fallen, somebody's dress is falling. But the teachers will come and fix it quickly in between the thing, and they still continue them so that their morale doesn't go down, like they are still continuing to enjoy. This is something I mean, it reminded me of that when I used to see my children actually play their games in kindergarten and how the teacher used to fix things. It looked exactly like that. The Lord is actually enjoying the pastimes. So sometimes our services are taken, but presence is not appreciated. For in what context this is coming? This is coming for Garuda. So Garuda's service was taken, but his presence was not appreciated. He said that, okay, now you have finished your job, you actually leave. Lord asks Garuda to go away. He goes away. What does this mean? It means that service means to serve as per master's expectations, not for self-excitement. Such a wonderful lesson Prabhuji had given. That if we are doing any service, it's not that, okay, we stay there, okay, please mention my name, please tell how much I am serving, how many people I have converted to Krishna consciousness. No, it has to be a silent, everything has to be silent. The more like actually it is said in our Shastras also, no, if you're doing charity, your right hand should not know what or your left hand shouldn't know what the right hand has given. Service is also something like that. People should not know what are the services that you're doing. Things should happen in the background. What is most important is Lord knows. He's sitting as Paramatma, the super soul, within everyone's heart. Your intention should be that at any point of time, how can I give some Krishna conscious knowledge to this person who is suffering? Do your duty, do your job, do our job. I am also included in that. I'm nobody here. So, but we need to do our job. And without any expectations. It has to be nishkama karma, right? So here service means to serve as per master's expectation, not for self-excitement. So at cost of losing focus on service, on goal, don't bother about small inconveniences. We are here for participation, not for recognition. Recognition is a byproduct, not the end product. Very bold. What Prabhuji had given actually. I'm very fortunate that I'm getting to revise. Otherwise, usually I make notes but never read them. But because of my lack of preparation, today I'm very happy to read Prabhuji's notes. Yes. So mountain, I'm sorry, just 5 more minutes. We are almost done. And I just wanted to share because I'm sure many of us did not attend those classes and did not get to see the lecture also of what Prabhuji had given. So the mountain started drowning into the ocean because of weight which Vasuki couldn't hold. So Lord expanded as Kurma. So sometimes in devotional service, we find instability, inconsistency. At that time, what we should do? We should pray to Kurmadev. That's what Prabhuji said. So when Manthan was happening, Kurmadev's ornaments were getting polished and also feeling good massaging sleep. Actually, it felt like when Mandara mountain, we may think that, oh, such a heavy mountain which nobody was able to lift and everything. It's there. Lord is carrying such a big burden. We might be feeling so bad for the Lord. Actually, he is feeling as if some cotton thing is massaging his back. He is actually enjoying the sleep, the massaging sleep, and his ornaments are getting polished. That's what is happening. So, because the Lord who can actually carry all the universes, Maya Dikshena Prakriti. And he's also like, I can't say, I'm not very great with remembering anything. What I read yesterday also, I can't remember today. What shlokas I have read or memorized also, I can't remember. So that's a disclaimer. So there is a shloka where actually it is said that Lord carries all the universes and everything is woven like pearls in a string. So he is actually that string which cannot be seen. We should not forget that. Everything is, Lord is all pervading. In every atom, Lord is present. So we thinking that something we are doing, it is impossible for us to. Even now, for Jagannath Rath Yatra, or whether it is for temple construction, we cannot think that we can do anything because without Lord's empowerment, without Lord being present, nothing can happen. So actually, our day should start with prayers that please get this task done without any obstacles. Let's pray for that and then get into the field. Let's see what happens. So Lord can happily sleep anywhere, whether it is on cold snake body, which is the Shesha, or on cold water with mountain above. Kurmadev, inhaling and exhaling, water is going in and out. That's why in oceans, waves go in and out. Because they got used to Kurmadev's breathing. So permanent that has become. They got so used to this thing which happened in Chakshusha Manvantara that actually now waves don't stop. They have got used to Kurmadev's breathing. It's Vasuki. Vasuki is exhaling fire and smoke. Actually, this comes in the next chapter, but I thought I'll just share whatever Prabhuji had actually given a little bit. I'm not covering the entire thing what he had given. So, but Vasuki is exhaling fire and smoke while churning, and demons were troubled. But so the similarly, ego being in a certain position may not be comfortable mode of service, but can somebody, for somebody whose ego is very high, being in a certain position may not be comfortable. But for service, we just need to stay there. But we should not lead the service due to our ego. So that's what. So here, Vasuki is exhaling fire. And when Vasuki, we'll see in the future that when Vasuki exhales the fire, actually, the demons are the ones who thought that there is some bigger plan. We should hold not the tail, but the head. They actually get burnt with all the fire, and even on the other side, demigods also get affected with that smoke and this one, because it is poisonous. The fire and the smoke is poisonous. Then what does Lord do? He creates clouds. And everything that is drizzling to relieve everybody, the demons and devatas, from exhaustion. So Lord only creates the clouds. Everything Lord only does. To give stability to the mountain, he holds the mountain from the top as Ajita. Right? So when we practice devotion, anarthas come out first. Like how halahal came out first. So when we practice devotion, anarthas will come out first. But do not panic. Take help of other devotees. Like how Devatas took help of Lord Shiva, who drank the halahal. So in association, what will happen initially? These anarthas will be coming. If we are by ourselves, we may get demotivated. What is happening? How come all this is happening? Why am I getting agitated? Why am I getting angry? Why am I finding faults with others? All these are anarthas. Lust, anger, greed, shad anarthas. What are they? Kama, krodha, moha, lobha, mada, matsarya. They are the shad anarthas. All these will first fly. Because when Krishna is entering, when we are chanting the holy names, Krishna enters through the ear holes. Karna Randhrena, he enters the ear holes and he sits on the inverted lotus bud of our heart. The heart is in the shape of an inverted lotus bud. Krishna sits on that and he starts sweeping. Because why? We invited Lord by chanting his holy name. So he has entered our hearts. Now he's sitting there with what? With a broomstick. In fact, I'm wondering whether we are serving the Lord or Lord is serving us. He is sitting within our heart. He starts sweeping. And suppose there is a haunted house which has been closed for some 100 years. If we go inside and we start cleaning our hearts, which has been closed to Krishna for some millenniums, from some millions of years, what will happen first? Obviously, the anarthas which have got accumulated in every lifetime, because every work we do has anartha as byproduct. I had discussed this before. So imagine every work, every karma has anartha byproduct. How many anarthas we have done in one day? How many anarthas? 40,000 thoughts come in one day. So imagine how many anarthas we would have had. How many anarthas in our lifetime? How many anarthas in millions of lifetimes? All this, where is it getting stored? In our subtle body. That is covering our subtle body. And now Krishna is actually sweeping that. Imagine what task he is doing. The dirty work of cleaning our anarthas. And when he starts sweeping, like this haunted house, the dust actually flies into the air first. And it goes into our face, our nose, everything, right? So those are the anarthas which suddenly start reflecting, and we are able to clearly see as if a mirror is in front of us, how worst, what kind of personality I was before. Such dirty things in our mind, such this shad anarthas, lust, the kama, krodha, moha, lobha, mada, matsarya, everything will reflect at that time. And Lord is cleaning that. So at that time, what we should do? Just be patient. Take help with the association. Get inspired with the association. And that's what Prabhuji had mentioned. That the greatest welfare activity one can do to others is bring them to Krishna consciousness. The Shiva drank the poison. While Shiva was drinking the poison, few drops fell and poison was drunk by snakes and scorpions. So that's how actually we see that there is existence of poisonous creatures also in this world. So here I will halt, because the next all the description is about what happens, what comes out of the churning. So I try to take until the churning starts, and the next speaker will start taking from where the churning happens and what all comes out. At that time, remember certain things that Gaurang Darshan Prabhu said. Probably if I am there in the class, I will also add. If at that time, if somebody wants a prompt, I can read out from my notes at that time. But that is what is this wonderful Samudra Manthan Leela, which I thought was just a pastime, but it had so many lessons for us. Thank you all for your patient and attentive listening. And even on a day when we could finish the class by 8:20, I'm sorry I took 30 minutes extra from you, and wanted to share whatever, because what he shared was so wonderful. I didn't want you to be bereaved of that pleasure of hearing Gaurang Darshan Prabhu's wonderful points. So I hope that was useful and helpful. Thank you so much. Any questions or comments? Otherwise, we can conclude the class and close it for the day. Yeah. वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। अनंत
Hare
कोटि
Krishna.
वैष्णव वृंद की जय। श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय। श्रीमद् भागवतम की जय। भागवतम बुक रीडिंग की जय। हरे कृष्णा, दंडवत प्रणाम।
Thank you, Mataji. Thank you so much.
All the wonderful devotees who took time on Sunday morning की जय। हरे कृष्णा।
Hare Krishna Mataji, excellent class. Dhanwad Pranam Mataji.
हरे कृष्णा, दंडवत
Krishna Mataji, Dandvat Pranam. Thank you, Mataji.
प्रणाम। Thank you. हरे कृष्णा।
Hare Krishna, Dandavat Pranam.
Thank you, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Mataji, you can close the class. Yes.
Okay, Mataji.
Yeah.